Good evening, and a very special good evening to the graduating class in economics of 2015. My name is Jim Adams. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Studies in the Department of Economics, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you on behalf of the entire Department of Economics to our celebration of commencement this year. When I say you, I am referring, of course, to the people in this room, but I want to extend a very special welcome to those people who are not with us physically, but are watching this proceeding elsewhere. We have several people who are participating in Rackham Auditorium, and this event is being streamed live. So I want to say hello to everyone who is joining in the festivities this evening. On stage with me at this time are some of my faculty colleagues, and I would recognize them individually and ask them to give a discreet wave when I call their name. Alan Deerdorf, Mitchell Dudley, Jan Gerson, James Hines, Miles Kimball, David Lamb, Chris Prue, Stan Cito, Frank Stafford, and Adam Stevenson. Also on stage with me this evening are those undergraduates who are receiving prizes and honors in economics. I will not introduce them to you now individually, but I will ask them collectively to give you a not-so-discreet wave. For many years, here at the University of Michigan, I participated in a different event for parents and students. Some of you may have participated in a similar event about 4 years ago. It's called Campus Day, and it's a program designed for high school seniors who applied to the University of Michigan, were accepted to study here, and are trying to decide whether or not to come. Campus Day is a day of questions. Where should I go to college? What should I study? How well am I going to do? Will I be growing intellectually during those 4 years or not? Well, just as Campus Day is a day of questions, so today is a day of answers. And to those of you who are graduates, the answers to the first few questions are clear. You chose Michigan. You chose economics. And you are obtaining one of the most difficult and challenging diplomas to take on board at this university. And so I commend you already for that. But what about the answer to the last question? The question that perhaps is the most important question, the question about intellectual growth and development. Only the graduates here assembled can answer that question definitively. But I myself can say this. For the faculty, this is grading season, and the season for reading and evaluating the intellectual progress of our students. Normally at this time, I myself am grading the Blue Book essays of graduating seniors, about 120 of them to be exact. This year, however, I'm teaching a new course that is reserved for freshman honor students, 111 of them. As you might expect, these honor students are very intelligent and they are very motivated. They have wonderful academic careers ahead of them. But they have not yet spent 4 years studying economics at the University of Michigan. And so when I compare what I read in their blue books to what I have read in the blue books of my seniors, honors and non-honors alike, I can assure you that the intellectual growth of the graduates here tonight is incredibly impressive indeed. And so to those of you who are parents, I say thank you for sharing your children with us. And to those of you who are students, and especially to the hundreds of you who know all about crushed peanut donuts, I say thank you for making our classroom so stimulating. Thank you for bringing such satisfaction to the professors of the University of Michigan. I want now to introduce my colleague, David Lamb. Professor Lamb is known throughout the world as an expert on developing countries, an expert on issues like poverty, discrimination, child labor, education, and population growth in poorer countries of the planet. His research has led him to spend considerable amounts of time in countries like Brazil and South Africa. Here at Michigan, Professor Lamb has led the Population Studies Center, and he is now completing his first year chairing the Department of Economics. I enjoy working with him to make Michigan economics one of the very best undergraduate programs in the world. Please help me to welcome Professor Lamb.
Thanks very much to Professor Jim Adams, a fantastic award-winning teacher who does a wonderful job as our Director of Undergraduate Studies. Graduating seniors, parents, grandparents, siblings, other family members and friends, it's a great honor to be here with you tonight for this event to honor our graduating seniors of the University of Michigan Department of Economics. As Jim said, welcome to those of you in this room and to those of you in Rackham Auditorium and those of you watching on the internet. We have graduates tonight from many, many countries, and a special welcome to family and friends who traveled to Ann Arbor for this event from very long distances. Welcome as well to those of you out there who are able to join the event remotely. I'm sorry that we cannot all be under one roof. We worked very hard to get a venue large enough for all of our graduates and their guests. Unfortunately, there are so many events on graduation weekend that we've not been able to secure a venue that can accommodate our hundreds of graduates and all their guests. But with technology, we're able to include everyone and make it a global event. And if you're out there watching from some faraway place, please post an entry on our Facebook page and tell us where you're watching from. As Jim said, I'm finishing my first year as chair of this great department. Filling shoes have been filled by some very distinguished economists in the department's 135-year history. Today is truly the high point of the academic calendar. It's the day that makes all the teaching, the grading, the reading blue books, the office hours, the faculty meetings, the negotiating with the dean, all worthwhile. It's really all about today. It was wonderful today to walk across campus. I just did it again this evening to see all the families out taking photos, the classmates taking pictures of each other in their gowns, and to hear the many languages that I heard as I walked past the photo shoots on the diag. As Jim Adams mentioned, the economics concentration at Michigan is one of the most challenging courses of study at the university. There are no easy classes, there are many very hard classes. Yet, as you can see from the size of the graduating class, it is also one of the most popular degrees on campus. Why is this? Economics, especially as taught at the University of Michigan, applies rigorous scientific approaches to questions of great importance for businesses, individuals, institutions, and policymakers. The Michigan style of economic analysis stresses both theoretical reasoning and careful quantitative analysis without losing sight of the need for economics to speak to what is happening in the real world. The faculty in our department study issues ranging from the causes of financial crises, how to best tax multinational corporations, the economics of the oil industry, the factors that impede economic development in low-income countries. Faculty are involved in projects all over the world, Brazil, China, Malawi, the Philippines, South Africa. Our faculty serve as advisors to governments and institutions in the US and many other countries. Our recent department chair, Linda Tisar, cannot be here tonight because she is serving as a senior economist for the Council of Economic Advisors at the White House, one of a long string of our faculty over decades and decades who have spent time in Washington advising policymakers. Our undergraduate economics program is one of the finest in the world. We produce about 500 graduates a year. This year we taught almost 40,000 student credit hours, 20% more than we taught a decade ago. But it's not the quantity of the program, it's the quality of our program that we are most proud of. The list of illustrious Michigan economics graduates is very long. I would just like to mention 3 of our economics undergrad majors that are currently in the news. Robert Schiller got his economics degree here as an undergrad in 1967, went on to win the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2013. Now a professor at Yale, he's famous for the Case-Shiller Index of Home Prices and for being one of the few economists to argue in the mid-2000s that bubbles in housing and financial markets could lead to a financial crisis. He's one of this year's recipients of honorary degree from the University of Michigan, and he'll be on the stage at the Big House tomorrow. This morning he gave the commencement address at the Rackham Graduate School event at Hill Auditorium. Diane Swank is a 1984 economics major. She's one of the most quoted economists in the financial press. She's chief economist at Mesirow Financial, regularly appears on TV and in the news giving wise analysis of economic news and events. She is our member of our department's Economic Leadership Council, and she has generously endowed a fellowship for economics majors. Rajiv Shah is a 1995 economics major. He just ended a 5-year term as head of the U.S. Agency for International Development. At USAID, he oversaw massive relief efforts after national disasters, huge investments to reduce poverty in low-income countries, and he led a widely praised move toward evidence-based programming at USAID. He's now a distinguished fellow at Georgetown University. These 3 graduates, spanning 4 decades of economics majors, are just 3 examples of the kinds of contributions Michigan economics majors make in academia, in government, and in the private sector. You all have similarly impressive accomplishments ahead of you. I always tell my students, even if I just teach them for 1 week, that I will take credit for everything they ever accomplish the rest of their life. And this is the policy of the Michigan Economics Department. We are going to take credit for all the amazing things that you and this group assembled here tonight are going to accomplish in the decades to come. Tonight I want to salute the parents of our graduates for their roles in preparing their children to be students at the University of Michigan, for their encouragement of their children's studies, for the financial sacrifices required so that their children could receive a truly great education. Let's give the parents a big round of applause. To the economics majors, I'd like to say you should be proud that you have completed one of the toughest set of courses at the University of Michigan, as Professor Adams said. There are a lot easier ways to get a degree from the University of Michigan than to be an economics concentrator. You made your way through microeconomics, analyzing how individuals and businesses make decisions and how these decisions interact in markets. You mastered macroeconomics, learning about the dynamics of business cycles and the impact of fiscal and monetary policy. In your elective courses, perhaps Professor Jim Hines taught you how to think about the effects of taxes, a man who can make taxes fun. Professor Adams may have helped you think about the impact of government regulation on industry. Professor Alan Deardorff's course in international trade may have left you with a deeper understanding of the role of trade in the world economy. Perhaps you worked one-on-one with Professor Stafford or Professor Kimball on an honors project, moving from studying economics to really doing economics. Michigan economics majors are a wonderfully diverse group of bright, motivated students who are willing to work hard. It's a great pleasure to teach you, and we keep fond memories of all of our students. One of the great joys of being a professor is the interactions with generations after generations of students that help keep us young. And we love it when you stay in touch and keep us updated about your accomplishments. Our graduates are undertaking an impressive array of future paths. Many will continue their education in graduate and professional schools. Others will take jobs in business, at banks, consulting firms, investment institutions, industrial companies. Others will take jobs in public service, including those who will put their economic skills to work in government agencies and will work here and abroad to help the disadvantaged. All of you will make important contributions to society, and I'm sure you will use what you've learned as an economics major no matter what you do. Congratulations to the graduates, and congratulations to the parents, family members, and friends who provided the support to get them to this important milestone. It is a great privilege to share this evening with you. Thank you.
For many thousands of Michigan students, past and present, the field of economics can be reduced to two words: Janet Gerson. Dr. Gerson received her BA in mathematics from the University of Missouri and then her PhD in economics from the University of Michigan. For the next 35 years, she was teaching the principles of microeconomics and advising majors in economics. She has also been playing an indispensable role in the administration and the reformation of the undergraduate program. She has won countless awards for her teaching, both those offered by the university and those that were selected by students. And she has also won our college's award for the quality of her advising. In addition to the quality of that work, she is among the most innovative teachers at the university. She herself has created a variety of courses to complement the principles of economics, to make the principles of economics more relevant to a broader number of students, innovative courses that involve economics in the news, economics and public service, and economics in the world of work. Beyond the Department of Economics, Dr. Gerson has served on the college's curriculum committee, which is the committee which shapes the curriculum of all departments within the liberal arts part of the university. I feel very fortunate to have been Dr. Gerson's colleague for so many years, for her partner in the reformation of the undergraduate curriculum, and I'm delighted now to present her to you. Dr. Gerson.
Thank you, Jim, for your kind words. Congratulations, graduating class of 2015, and congratulations, parents. I'm so proud of you and honored to share this special day with you and your family and your friends. When I was in college, I imagined how graduating would affect me. I thought of my undergraduate journey as climbing to the top of a mountain of knowledge, and imagined after graduation I would suddenly be really smart and know everything I needed to. Perhaps a bit like the scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, who got a brain and suddenly could recite the Pythagorean theorem. But after I graduated, I realized there was no mountaintop. Instead, I was positioned to continue climbing and be a lifelong learner, both in my professional and personal life. I thought I was great at typing papers, but learned how to use software on a personal computer and a printer instead. I thought I knew how to use a telephone, a landline phone attached to a cord that allowed verbal communication. But I learned how to speak and text and take and send pictures on a cell phone. My computer programs were written on punch cards. Encyclopedias were a printed set of books. I took photos with a camera and then took the film to a store to be developed. TV signals came into homes on rooftop antennas, and news came either from Walter Cronkite on the TV or from a printed newspaper. We didn't have PowerPoint in the classroom, personal computers, the internet, Facebook, or Twitter. Much of your life today, at that time, would have been sci-fi. I can hardly imagine the innovation and opportunities in your future, and you're positioned to dream big dreams and thrive in that future. You're graduating with an economics degree in the College of Literature, Science, and Arts. The LSA Dean's website states what I consider to be our mission statement. Since 1841, the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts has been educating young leaders through a rich liberal arts curriculum and creating new knowledge through world-class research and scholarship. The college has been built upon the cornerstone of the liberal arts, the idea that a powerful, pragmatic, broad education can transform hearts and minds, and can solve problems in an ever-changing world and can yield ideas and innovation across every discipline. I hope you remember and retain the analytical toolbox and critical thinking skills you learned and refined as you advanced in the major. I'm going to take you on a short stroll down memory lane to highlight some of the ideas you've learned, beginning with Econ 101. Speaking of Econ 101, I'd like to give a shout out to Paula Malone, watching from her home in Portland. Shout out, Paula. On the first day of class in Econ 101, I told you my goals were for you to appreciate the relevance of microeconomic theory in your personal life, in business, and in policy debates, and for you to be able to apply what you learned in real-world situations to help solve real-world problems. I imagine if you weren't in my class, you were told something similar. Real-world situations, like the US oil boom. From 2010 to 2014, when the price of a barrel of oil was over $100, US oil companies completed 20,000 new wells, fracking to extract oil from shale formations. By mid-2014, the quantity of oil produced far exceeded the quantity demanded. You could have predicted the consequence of this excess supply. Oil prices have tumbled 50% since their peak last June, and the number of drilling rigs in the US has also fallen about 50%. A drilling rig drills the hole and then a well pumps the oil. Most of the jobs in oil production are in the exploration and drilling phase, that is, with rigs. When a well is completed, the oil flows freely for a while and then declines. So fewer drilling rigs means the quantity of oil produced will eventually decline. What are the consequences of cheaper oil? If you take the perspective of a North Dakota town that was thriving during the oil boom, it's bad news. With fewer rigs, there are fewer jobs, and landlords there fear apartment rents will plummet. If you take the perspective of a typical driver, the resulting cheaper gasoline is like an $800 raise. Does that change people's behavior? Will they drive more and stop using public transportation? Will they spend more in restaurants and stores? And will this help boost the economy? What can oil producers do? Saudi Arabia could cut its production and increase the price of oil. You studied game theory and understand why that's not happening. The benefit of cutting output would go to other producers who could increase their market share at the higher price. US oil executives are arguing for a change in US policy. Specifically, we have a ban on the export of crude oil, and they want this ban lifted. The price of oil on the world market is higher than in the US. How would lifting the ban affect US gas prices, economic growth, employment, and wages? Professor Deardorff's students could help us answer these questions. You, or maybe your boss or professor in graduate or professional school, might want to analyze economic data and estimate some of these effects. You're equipped with statistics and econometrics knowledge to excel at that task. An econ degree helps you be an informed and articulate citizen. Michigan residents will vote May 5th on Proposal 1, which, if passed, will increase Michigan's sales tax and change how fuel is taxed, removing 3 taxes on fuel: the current 6% sales tax on gasoline and diesel, the additional 19-cent per gallon tax on gasoline, and the additional 15-cent per gallon tax on diesel, replacing these 3 taxes with a flat 14.9% wholesale tax, while expanding the earned income tax credit to cushion the effect on the working poor. These tax changes will generate $1.2 billion a year for much-needed road construction and maintenance, and raise additional money for schools, public transportation, cities, and the state's general fund. Professor Hines' students could help us analyze this proposal. Yes. In January 2013, we launched Economics at Work, a class featuring a diverse set of economics alumni speakers who exemplify the University of Michigan's leaders and best. I hope some of you were able to take this class. Our alumni are thrilled to return to Lorch Hall and interact with students. Just to give you an idea of some of the careers, I'd like to share some highlights from the past 5 terms of this class. The kickoff speaker, Diane Swank, chief economist at Messero Financial and among the most quoted economists in the financial press. Diane reminded students to notice what's going on around them and draw inferences from it. For example, she noticed more trucks on the interstate and interpreted that as evidence the economy was picking up. Courtney Robinson, the director of Civil Aviation Infrastructure at Aerospace Industries Association, pursued a career based on his love of airplanes. One of his responsibilities is to advocate for UAS technology, which is uninhabited aircraft systems, more commonly known as drones. He works with manufacturers and US government officials on a daily basis to address concerns that restrict the use of drones, and showed an informative video of how drones support economic activities. John Sweetland, a great friend of the university and economics department, described how his successes and accomplishments were based on the solid education he received here at Michigan. His master's thesis research led to a job offer and the eventual creation, operation, and sale of the largest and most profitable cement import operation in the US. John spoke of the variety of experiences his econ degree prepared him for, also including a senior executive position at an international financial corporation and service as deputy mayor of the city of Detroit. Sharon Parrott is the vice president for budget policy and economic opportunity at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, which is a nonpartisan research and policy institute. Sharon followed her passion for social policy and focuses on the impact of budget and tax policy on the nation's efforts to reduce poverty and hardship and promote economic opportunity. Brian Watkins, a business development manager at Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, channels his passion for the city of Detroit and vision for its renewal by facilitating the connection of Detroit companies with quality local suppliers to build a community of businesses that support each other's economic success. John Ferrando, an executive vice president at AutoNation, graduated from Harvard Law School. One of John's roles is to lead the corporate development team at AutoNation, which is responsible for driving company growth through acquisitions. He relies heavily on the knowledge from his economics degree in this role and was called on to assist the president's team during the 2008 automotive industry crisis. Steve Schindler is the chief executive officer of NII Holdings, a leading wireless provider in Latin America, and proud to be board chair of World Fund, a nonprofit organization that aims to raise the quality and relevance of education in Latin America. Steve pointed out his career has been primarily in an industry that didn't exist when he was an undergraduate, and that current students might also have careers in industries that don't exist now. Shirley Lee, an executive director at Goldman Sachs in equity sales and co-founder of Giftwell, flew here from Hong Kong to share her experiences in finance and founding a company. Astrid Dick, a visual artist, emphasized that students should remember life is about what you learn in economics, trade-offs, opportunity costs, and the irrelevance of sunk costs. Alumni speakers advised students to pursue their passion and take risks. Speakers shared that success normally comes from true grit, that it is important to maintain your personal integrity, that it is okay to not know exactly where life will take you, and that hard work and dedication will take you places. Not everyone got all A's in their economics classes, but still got far in life with effort and persistence. You all should dream big dreams. You can all realize big dreams. I'd like to close by sharing one of my many fond memories from another hat I wear, that of a Michigan parent. Instead of this beautiful spring day, imagine a record cold day in January 1998. The Michigan football team was victorious in the Rose Bowl and reigned as co-national champion. Imagine, it is possible. The festivities included a parade through downtown Ann Arbor. My son was in the marching band, and as the band marched by my family, they chanted, "It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine." It is great to be a Michigan Wolverine, a Michigan student, a Michigan alumni, a Michigan parent, grandparent, brother, sister, friend, and it's great to be a Michigan economist. Congratulations, and go Blue.
I think you can see how Dr. Gerson inspires so many students who have absolutely no intention of going on in economics to, in fact, do just the opposite and wind up in Power Center on the night before the big graduation. And so I think you can also appreciate why all of her colleagues feel so strongly that at this particular point she should be awarded the department's Lifetime Achievement Award for teaching and advising. So now that Dr. Gerson has sat down, I'm going to ask her to stand up again and come right back to the podium. Several people have said it already. To graduate with a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Michigan is a major achievement. As I mentioned before, though, there are some students who have completed the major in a rather exceptional way. They have won prizes or they have pursued an honors major in economics, and so they are especially receiving distinctions at this time. There are 21 students who fall in this category. They are seated behind me, and as I describe to you their honors and prizes, I'm going to ask each person to rise as I call his or her name. So I wish to present to you now the 21 winners of undergraduate honors and prizes in economics. Mr. Patrick Balke, I should say that not all of these students are present, so I'm not exactly sure what I will find behind me here. Mr. Patrick Balke, Parker Memorial Prize and High Honors. Mr. Andrew Barton, Sims Honors Prize, Parker Memorial Prize, and High Honors. Mr. Jesse Buxbaum, Osterweil Memorial Prize, and high honors. Mr. Christopher Chagash, Sims Honors Prize. Ms. Shinju Chen, Ferrando Honors Prize and highest honors. Ms. Jiarong Chua, high honors. Mr. Ping Han, Ferrando Honors Prize and highest honors. Mr. Kenneth Leeton, Department of Economics Service Award. Ms. Seungmin Lee, high honors. Mr. Linfeng Li, honors. Mr. Jacob Light, whom I can tell you is away doing research in India as we speak. Gerald Ford Public Service Award, Sims Honors Prize, Ferrando Honors Prize, highest honors. Ms. Jialin Liu, high honors. Mr. Enjar Elkagvayev, honors. Ms. Xuanquan Peng, highest honors. Mr. Daniel Portney, Sims Honors Prize. Ms. Victoria Sauer, Sims Honors Prize. Mr. Stan Shin, high honors. Mr. Fusheng Wang, honors. Mr. Boshen Wu, high honors. Mr. Kong Zhang, high honors. And Ms. Hannah Zlotnick, Department of Economic Service Award. Let's give these individuals a great hand. Before we begin the next part of our program, I want to recognize the efforts and achievements of our faculty advisors in economics. Each student in our department has an advisor, and most students rely on their advisors for precious advice about how best to navigate the field of economics and how best to navigate our department. Michigan is a very large university. Our department is a very large department, and our field of economics is a very diverse field in terms of the different kinds of skills it draws on and the different kinds of applications one can use it for. And so really, to get the most out of the undergraduate major at Michigan, it is absolutely essential to connect with the faculty advisors who can give wise advice that is tailored to the needs of each individual student. And so on the stage with me are all but two of our faculty advisors, and I would ask them to stand and be recognized for our appreciation at this time. Mitchell Dudley, Janet Gerson, Chris Prue, Stan Cito, and Adam Stevenson. I also want to thank at this time the people who worked extremely hard to ensure the festivity of this evening in Power Center. I will ask them to stand and wave when I call their names if they're in the room. More likely they are outside working about all of the things that we're not aware of that could go wrong at this kind of event. But I do want to recognize them for you. The first of these is the Chief of Services Provider for undergraduate students in the department, Ms. Olga Mustada, with whom I work very closely. I can assure you what every student in this room already knows, that Ms. Mustada is a tireless, indefatigable advocate for undergraduates. If it is possible to make it happen for an undergraduate, she will make it happen. And I thank her very much for all of the efforts that she puts in on the undergraduate program in general. Ms. Lauren Pillay, is Lauren here? Is Lauren in the room? Lauren Pillay is the head of student services in the department. I'm usually very happy if I can think half a step ahead of where I need to be. Lauren Pillay keeps me thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead of where I should be. She plans strategically for the department. She makes sure that we have the right relations with other units within the college and within the university more broadly, and I'm very grateful for what she does for this program. And finally, I would mention individually Mary Mangum, who hopefully is in the room as well. Mary is the department manager for economics. Not only does she worry about everything relating to the curricular programs, but everything relating to the faculty, who are of course far more obstreperous than the students are, and as well our relations with the rest of the university world. These people make our department go. A lot of us could come and go, but as long as those three individuals are alive and well in the department has a very bright future indeed. I think these individuals, as well as the others working on this evening's event, Rhonda Abrigo, Laura Flack, Leigh Tutt, and Vinnie Vingemore, deserve a thundering round of congratulations. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. And actually, I should say before we get to that moment, as I am sometimes wont to do, that some of us have been waiting for this moment longer than others. There is one graduate here this evening who began her undergraduate studies at Michigan in September of 1982. Ms. Carol Crawford, please stand so that we can recognize your determination to get a degree in economics from Michigan. And so we now come to the main event, which is to recognize all of our economics majors in the class of 2015. We're going to have students come to the stage area here where we do wish to give them a certificate of appreciation for their participation in the department. I'm going to ask the honors and prize winner students to start this process, and then we will work to people who are in the main sections. So I will ask Dr. Gerson to assist me here and to come forward, and I will ask the students maybe to come this way, please.
Daniel Portney.
Christopher G. Gosh.
Hannah Slotnick.
Andrew Barton.
Victoria Sawyer.
Juan Fu Sang.
Boshen Wu.
Kong Zhang.
Linfeng Li.
Ping Hong.
Jiarong Zhuang.
Jinshu Chen.
Lialin Liu. Ingjerga Lakwaj.
Thomas James Palmer.
David M. Sparling III.
Lexi Miedema.
Blair Gherkin.
Carol Crawford.
George Kolovos.
Brian Starks.
Eric Wu.
Aston Williams.
Kimberly Churchwell.
Khan Ogden.
Chang Tian.
Yanling Zhu.
Niru Kanan.
Christopher Skihan.
Shilpa Phillips.
Phoenix Zhang.
Eric Vanderhoff.
Claire Urba.
Boming Jai.
Putri Daria Arif.
Akasha Anis.
Aliyah Hasbullah.
Mohammed Ibrahim.
Mohammed Firdos Hasna.
Ki In Wang.
Sui Yong Chia.
Tuan Don.
Amir Paul Saral.
Shitu Gade.
Nishal Kuber.
Jihyun Ryo.
Shufen Trista Chen.
Kun Yu.
Weitong Huang.
Bohan Huang.
Nurizwan Sha'ong.
Mohammed Rashad Mohammed Razin.
Ju Young Kim.
Shivani Deshmukh.
Alyssa Costi.
Alec Pinchak.
Judy Thalen.
Tara Robinson.
Wendy Lynn.
Ryan Leong.
Lauren Vespoli.
Haley Wilk.
Nina Liu.
Michael O'Connor.
Jeffrey Kamalo.
Raymond Carroll.
Jillian Svengros.
Kelsey Tress.
Kongyi Liu.
Shraddha Jain.
Nicole Echeverria.
Moon Hae Seong.
Annie Zhao.
Grant William Benz Kugler.
Joseph Lawrence Simon.
Bryce Doreen.
Alfredo Holguin.
Danny Vitus.
Mark Edlund.
Alexa Cornwall.
Brendan Kaiser.
Charlie Weipert.
Connor Matthews.
Berislav Christo.
William Nother Stockvis.
Anna Elisa Prado.
Rachel Weiner.
Andrew Hartford. Uli Eman.
Jonathan Eisenreich.
James Grutzmacher.
Paige Huberman.
Mason Bear.
Mitchell Vermette.
Matthew Bell.
Ethan Woolens.
Jordan Samet.
Thomas Wen.
Alexandra Graylin Rogel.
Kathleen Evans.
Samantha Rowley.
Molly Gepner.
Dominic Leone.
Parth Thacker.
Ryan Hayes.
Michael Barstow.
William Aaron Cooney.
Craig Friend.
Jake Weimar.
Wei Wang.
Patrick Larkin.
Albert Powell.
Jared Leif.
Dien Mint So.
Martin Petrick.
Tamal Sikder. Andrew Jacobs.
E. Chen.
Xing Yi Lin.
Joanna Yim.
Sherry Lee.
Stephen Lampert.
Christopher Graham.
Ethan Katz.
Philip Hallman.
Joseph Krim.
Nathan Sutherland.
Antonio Ianni Jr.
Matthew Johnston.
Aaron Flato.
James Cahill.
Robert Brenglow.
Justice Kwok.
Emily Lim.
Ribo Wang.
Jenny Xu.
Shui Kyung.
Yunjie Zhu.
Yoron Gui.
Zoha Momin.
Catherine Nagley.
Carolyn Keck Husak.
Michael G. Miller.
Jonathan Lewis.
Anna Perry Winthrop.
Daniel Orleans.
Jeremy Mufelder.
Chase Hagan.
Jay Harrington.
Alex Harry.
Maya Adamczyk.
Randall Hansen.
Jessica Hahn.
Michael Sleeman.
Damon Paganchev.
Emily Attar.
Hyojun Kim.
Andrew Dorbian.
Zachary Wilson.
Max Haskin.
Matthew Newmark.
Adam Kitai.
Hugo Tallman.
Hussein Charara.
Thibaut Dupuy.
Danielle Mazer.
Taylor Levine.
Alexandra Osowski.
Brianna Basil.
David Bo Wong.
Esther Tay.
Aaron Lowe.
Nicholas German.
Alexander Poinkowski.
Ahmed Jawad.
Max Puchetta.
Lauren Richmond.
Ray O'Hara.
Matthew Orr.
Glenn Vargo.
Anthony Mazer.
Kevin Refier.
Yuwon Kim.
Anthony Yu.
Avery Gleason.
Lijia Lo.
Jia Wen Teo.
Cameron Bloom.
Linda Soon.
Ryan Breen.
Ryan Yost.
Despot Jurich.
Mangyao Guo.
Robert Dulzo.
Gregory Constantine Vutsos.
Lucas Morrison.
Benjamin Littman.
Michael Petrillo.
Jordan Anderson.
Trevor Doritz.
Sophie Jantz.
Priyanka Varma.
Heidi Terpstra.
John Kim.
Gu Young Kim.
Katie Lee.
Austin Brewer.
Ishika Rajan.
Kritika Rajan.
Alexander Reed.
Michael Vincent Coe.
Maithili Jalihal.
Tariq Kutu.
Ismail Ali.
Curtis Simmerall.
Nicholas Hamill.
Felix Camion Tercero.
Jacob Atkinson.
Angela Brazil.
Michael Bodie.
Taylor Ann Jane.
Kyle Moynihan.
Ryan Seago.
Michael White.
Skylar Lato.
Pranav Krishnan.
Spencer. Spencer Lau.
Evan Field.
Thomas Sobey.
Sarah Ann Tiffany.
Austin Hufford.
Jonathan Chuku.
Yishin Chen.
Sharon Young.
Annie Perzekas.
Yang Zhang.
Dmitry Slavin.
Wenjia Wang.
Shannon Watkins.
Amy Cook.
James C. Beecham III.
Loretta Chan.
Ray Dunn.
Wai Kwan Julia Tang.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful evening. Thanks to Jim. Thanks to all the faculty, the advisors. Truly a wonderful night. Enjoy the morning at the Big House tomorrow, and go Blue.